All right, guys, here we go. I'm doing this. I want to make sure, first off, that everybody can see what it is we're doing here. So if you can see the first slide here that says 7 ways to grow, just type yes in the question panel there. Again, don't go to polls or any of that stuff or chat. I'm only looking perfect. No one has to do it, guys. I'm getting a ton of them here. No more. Perfect. I got it. Nobody else has to do it. Let me take the time here to delete all these now. But, guys, thank you so much. At least it's nice to know that I have people here paying attention, which is fantastic. Today's going to be kind of cool, guys. I'm doing this kind of, I've got a lot of information. I'm really kind of doing this on the fly and deciding what to share and what not to share based on your guys' feedback and what you want to hear about. Many of us are probably connected already through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube videos and all these other kind of places. Some of us probably know each other personally as well. So if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to be a little informal today and really just try to give you value. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about is kind of difficult to do over a webinar, but hopefully I'll have your full focus. I'm going to try to have this recorded and available to you guys afterwards too, because everything I'm going to talk about works, okay? And that's the really cool thing. It all works. It's just a matter of implementing it correctly and doing it the right way. For those of you that don't know, I used to sell real estate. At one point I was named the #1 agent in the country under the age of 30, back when I was still under 30. And now we've got thousands of coaching students, and I speak at conferences all over North America and really get the chance to share some of the ideas that not just that I came up with, but I'll be honest, some of the ideas that I teach today are ones that I've learned from some of our top students for what they're doing. And so in that way, I'm kind of like a conduit, like just giving you the information that I've learned. But everything I'm going to talk about today absolutely works, okay? So please, I know it's difficult in today's society, but give me your undivided attention because I really believe that something like this can literally change the outcome of your year, the outcome of your income that you were going to be making, the outcome of how you do this year or don't do this year, just based on some simple things I'm going to share here today if you implement them correctly, okay? Guys, I come from the mindset that, you know, it's okay to have a bad week, a bad month, but it's not okay to have a bad 1099. The majority of you on here right now are real estate professionals. You are paid according to what you're worth. You're paid according to what you deserve. And so with that being said, guys, like I said, it's okay to have a bad week. It's okay to have a bad month. It's not okay to have a bad 1099. I see some of you already tweeting things. Guys, if you want to tweet something while we're on here, you can tweet at Jared James Today. Or on Facebook, facebook.com/Jared James Today if you want to tag me in anything. But like I said, if you have questions, use the question portion of your control panel because that's specifically what I'm going to be looking at. And hopefully if it's something that relates to what I'm talking about at the moment, then I'll answer it at the moment. If not, I'm going to try to save it for the end, okay? We're going to talk about specific strategies, though, like exactly what you do. I'm not going to be vague. I'm going to be very specific, okay? And I think that'll be helpful for you guys. But we do have to understand that and if it's okay with you guys too, I'm going to talk kind of fast because we've got limited time. And as I said, I'll try to record this for you. But we have to understand with our marketing strategies that the industry, the market has changed, okay? And likewise, our marketing strategies have to change as well. You know, the average age of a first-time home buyer is somewhere between 26 to 31 years old, and the average age of an agent is between 57 and 58. Okay, so there's a disconnect that's there. I mean, the average person that's buying a house right now as a first-time home buyer looks at William Shatner and doesn't think Captain Kirk. You know, they think the Priceline guy. And so, you know, there's obviously a disconnect between those two things. So things have changed. People now, they're used to going into stores and buying the majority of their Christmas gifts or whatever happens to be online and having merchants talk back and forth and having them shipped to them for free and showing up at their door. They're used to going into places like Macy's and e-signing things, and then they're going out with their average agent and you know, seeing houses all day, and at the end of the day calling their agent and saying, hey, I want to make an offer. And they're hearing that agent get back to them and say, well, can you meet me at the office tomorrow at noon, or do you have a fax machine? And literally these people who are operating in this world right now in this market are saying to themselves, a fax machine, you know, you might as well send it over in a pigeon's mouth. It might actually get here quicker. And so my point is this, guys, things have changed and we have to learn to change with it, which includes our marketing strategies and how we deal with our clients. I love the quote that says, if you don't like change, you'll like irrelevance even less, okay? And that's so true. And in today's market, guys, I just came out, actually next month, my new book's coming out. Pre-orders already came up, we already started taking pre-orders. And the idea of that book, it's called Get Out of Your Way. And it's the idea, guys, that, the majority of our issues come down to the person that we can see by looking in the mirror. That there's over 7 billion people on earth, and only one of them can keep us from getting what we want this year. And so most of our issues are not that we don't know what to do. It's that we simply don't do it, okay? And that's really what it is. I mean, if you want to lose weight, we know what we have to do, but we try to find every single thing that possibly has to happen, other than what actually works. And so today I'm going to talk some old school stuff. I'm going to talk some new school stuff, but everything I'm going to talk is all what works right now, okay? Somebody asked a question, Patty Goodcredit. She said, will I be unmuted when this begins? No, the reason why everybody's muted is so I don't hear everything that's going on. That's why we use this question panel for you to ask questions. Otherwise, like similar, if I'm typing or something right now, you guys can hear it, and that's okay. But if I were to unmute all of the people that are on this broadcast right now, on this webinar, we would literally just hear a ton of distractions, and so that's why I don't do that, okay? And yes, someone asked, should I still be seeing the first slide? Absolutely, you should. That's what I'm showing right now. So good questions, guys. Guys, the main thing I want to talk about with this kind of a thing is the difference between having a business and owning a business, okay? If I were to say the name Donald Trump to you and I asked what he's known for, I could get a lot of different responses, but the majority of the responses would probably say something about the fact that he builds skyscrapers. And the question I really want you to ask yourself, and I really want to ask you right now is, do you think he's ever built a skyscraper in his life? Okay, and yet that's what he's known for. And so when you look at our industry, we're known for certain things. We're known for selling houses. We're known for marketing. We're known for all these kinds of things, showing houses. But do you think that's really what we should be doing every day? The real question comes down to, do you go to work every day or do you own a business? That's really what the mindset that I want you to be thinking of as we're doing this right now. Do you go to work every day or do you own a business? Because just because we're known for something doesn't mean that that's what we do every day. And the only way we become wealthy, the only way that we double our income as the marketing said or do anything like that is by understanding that core concept that you cannot go to work every day and work a job and become wealthy and have the kind of time you want. You've got to learn how to actually own a business, run a business, and be known for something that really you don't do every day. And there's many different ways that happens, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff today, how that happens, okay? One of the main ways, though, is through marketing. This is where most people are lacking. I mean, if I were to ask the average agent right now what kind of marketing they do, the majority of them are, well, I get referrals. 69% of all transactions right now are from, actually 38% are from referrals, okay? I talk to a lot of different agents who will tell me, and they'll be so happy, and they'll say, well, all of my business comes from referrals. And on one side of me, I'm going, that's fantastic. You obviously take care of your people and you're a good person and people like you. Otherwise, that wouldn't be happening. But on the other hand, I'm saying to myself, God, that's a terrible business model. You've got to be losing a ton of business. I mean, how much business are you not doing? If all of your business is coming from referrals, that means it's not coming from any marketing efforts that you're doing. It's not a matter of, the fact that you're doing 20 million a year or 5 million a year or whatever it happens to be. It's a matter of the fact that, you should be doing 30, 40, 50, 100. You should be doing much more. And that's what an overall encompassing business model really does. And that's what we'll talk a little bit about. And Patty, just so you know, I got your message. You're not sure how to do this. Just listen. You don't have to be unmuted or anything. The way you're sending those questions in is perfect. If you have questions, you can send them in through that way, okay? And how I really break this down as far as the marketing goes is I always tell people, look, can you get a better burger than McDonald's? Can you get a better sub than Subway? Well, of course you can. Well, then why are they all over the place? Why are they everywhere? And the answer to that is marketing. It's that they're an option. You don't necessarily have to be the best at what you do in order to dominate your marketplace. Now, it helps, obviously, if you are, but you don't necessarily have to be. Our industry, we've been taught our whole lives that competition is a great thing. But guys, that message was not delivered to entrepreneurs. That was delivered to the consumer. If you are a real estate professional, if you're a 1099 a subcontractor, your goal is to dominate. That's really how you get paid. That's how you do well. You don't want to compete with every single person for every listing, for every buyer, that's no good. And so marketing is what this comes down to. I always tell the story about an agent that I was dealing with. I did an event in Texas. And this kid comes up to me after and he goes, that was amazing. I'm ready to run through a wall. I'm ready. He's like, and he goes, but you just don't understand. There's just no transactions here. And I said to him, go grab your computer. I said, do me a favor, once he grabbed his computer, pull up the number of transactions over the last 30 days. And he went and did it. And it was the number of transactions in his area that he worked. And I forget the exact number, but it was something like 137 transactions or something. And I said to him, I said, sir, with all due respect, and by the way, guys, whenever you say with all due respect to somebody, what are you about to do? I mean, you're about to disrespect them, let's be honest. And I said, with all due respect, I said, the issue that I see here is not that there's not enough transactions. The issue is that your name is not on enough of those transactions. And that's really what was going on with this particular person, okay? And that's what's going on with many of us. You see, if I were to break down many of your businesses and I were to really look at how many different lines you have out there to create business, the majority of you probably have somewhere between 1 to 3, if I'm being kind, when really there should be about 19. You know, I use this picture because it's such an easy illustration of, look, it's off the same boat, fishing for the same fish, doing the same thing, but one rod, one fishing pole is only going to catch so many fish. I mean, it's the law of, I mean, it's just numbers. There's no way around that. It's the way it is. But obviously, if you have 10, 15, 20 fishing poles, the odds would tell you you're going to catch more fish, right? I mean, I think we all can agree on that basic premise. And so why is your business any different? You know, if you have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines out there to get you started, then obviously, and Joe, the answer is yes, we have started here. We're a pretty good way in right now. Then obviously, you're going to catch so many fish, but you're also not going to catch as many as you can. And the more lines you have in the water, the more hooks you have in the water, the more fish that you're going to catch. Your business is no different. The more lines you have out there, the more strategies, the more campaigns, the more things you do to create business and not just use that one way of referral or that one way of whatever it happens to be, you're obviously going to do more transactions, okay? But for this to happen, you literally everything you do has to support what it is that you want. I mean, that's a life principle. If you want to lose weight, everything you do has to support that. You have to eat right. You have to get around people who feel like that. You have to start exercising. You have got to, if you want to be a top producer, everything in your lifestyle has got to mirror that. You know, you've got to have things like what I call your hour of power, which is every single day you do nothing for an hour. I really would go more to 2 to 3 hours, but it's more marketable to say hour of power. But during that time, you do nothing but things that have the ability to create new business. You do nothing but the things that we're about to talk about in the coming half hour, however long it's going to take here. You do nothing but those things. You know, if you're on this right now and you're listening to this and you're not necessarily 100% thrilled where you are as a business or with where you are as an income level or with where you are, I mean, think about it. It really came from our patterns. We can change that. I like to tell people that you can't put the ingredients in the oven for a pizza and expect a lasagna to come out. We're all going to get what it is that we deserve. We're all going to get based on the ingredients we put in the oven is what's going to come out. The patterns that we sow, the techniques we follow are ultimately what we're going to get. And we all made the exact amount of money in the last 12 months that we deserve to make. So for some of you, that's fantastic. For some of you, that's sobering. But the good thing is that no matter who you are, if you're listening to this right now, you have the ability to change those ingredients, to change those patterns based on what you're going to hear today. And so what I hope that you'll do is that some of these techniques I'm going to talk about, guys, I can't talk about every single technique I know to create business, but I'm going to cover a few that I know that if you implement, you'll make more money as a result, okay? One of the first ones I want to talk about here, it's kind of an old school, but it still works, kind of using new school. It's leveraging your database. Okay, before we get into kind of the technical stuff, this one's very simple and yet so overlooked. With your database, one of the easiest ways to create value or to create business within your database is actually to create value. You know, we've grown up in a world where we've been told forever that when you call people in your database, when you call past clients, current clients, whoever, when you call them up, you're supposed to talk to them about something personal, you know, something you took notes on. And then you're supposed to say something like, by the way, you know anybody looking to buy or sell? And the problem with that is that if you called me and had that same conversation, what have you basically just said to me about that whole conversation we just had? You basically just told me you could care 2 craps about my daughter going to this or my son going to this or how they're doing with this. You really were just looking to see if there was any new business. And that's the fundamental problem with that way of doing business. And it doesn't surprise you. I mean, when you hear that, there was a poll that came out from NAR recently that said that 89% of all people, 89% of all your clients at the time of closing said they'd use you again. 89%. Anybody want to take a guess at what percent actually do use you again? It's 11%. 89% say they'd use you again, only 11% actually do. So what does that tell you? It tells you many things. There's fundamental flaws in the way we follow up, that they view us as a dime a dozen. They think realtors are a dime a dozen. There's many different things, but one of the things it tells me is that we're not creating real connection. We're not creating real value. We're not creating any kind of unique selling proposition in any way that makes them say, that's my guy, and really they'll use whoever's in front of them. One of the easiest ways to change that is with your database. First off, every single one of you should have a database. If you're in this industry and you don't have a database, that's step one. You can use whichever one you like. I'm a big fan of Wise Agent. Okay, if you want to try it out for free, you can go to wiseagent.com/Jared James. So wiseagent.com/Jared James. You can try it for free for a month. I think it's like $24 a month after that. But not only is it important that you have a database with all your past clients, current clients, all these things, but it's also important that it is ridiculously segmented. Your database, you need to know, and you need to be actually tagging people and segmenting people by who your bachelors are. You need to be segmenting people on who has children. You need to be segmenting people on who's the senior citizens. You need to be segmenting people in so many different ways because it allows you to provide real value. See, the reason why the majority of us, when we send out an email or something, if we get a 15 to 20% open rate, it's an enormous open rate. It's because people have stopped associating value with those emails. Remember when you used to get excited when you get an email, like the You've Got Mail days, Tom Hanks and whatever? Are you excited now when you get email? No, you associate junk. You're like, oh, I got to go unsubscribe. I got to spam this. I got to delete this. I got to whatever. So one of the ways that I would create value with my people that created real value and grew my business is I would actually go to local businesses and I would create deals with them. So in my area, I knew that a bunch of kids in the area, all the parents brought these kids to something called My Gym. It's actually called My Gym. It's not My Gym. It's actually just called My Gym. I feel like I'm in a Who's on First situation right now. And I would actually go and create a deal with the owner of My Gym because I knew all the parents brought their kids there for summer camp. And I would say, hey, I know that you charge $350 per kid for summer camp, but I've got a big database of people with kids, and if they mention that my realtor Jared James sent me, would you give it to them for $300? And then you wouldn't have to spend any money on marketing on the billboards and all these other places. That would just be people I sent to you. And he said, absolutely, I would absolutely do that. That's fantastic. I would then go back to my database. I'd send an email to all of the people in my database who had kids because I have them segmented. And I'd say, hey, how you doing? How's the summer going? I don't know if you're planning on sending little Johnny to summer camp at My Gym, but if you are, and I know that they are, if you are, just mention my realtor Jared James sent me and you can get it for $300 instead of $350. That's it. Thanks. Looking forward to talking to you. The next day, I would pick up the phone and I would call every single one of those people in my database who have kids because I have them segmented. I'm only reaching out to people who have that specific need, so I have value. So they start to associate value. I'd call them up and I'd say, hey, Diane, how you doing? I don't know if you got my email yesterday, but I don't know if you're planning on sending little Johnny to My Gym, but if you are, just mention my realtor Jared James and you'll get it for $300 instead of $350. And I know they're planning on sending them there anyway. And then I'll say to them, by the way, feel free to mention that to all your friends. Now, do moms talk in a town? Absolutely they do. And so when I've done that, not only have I provided value for my clients to where they're probably not going to go to anybody else ever again because I'm constantly doing these kind of value-added things for them, but now they're spreading it to the other moms in town and the other people in town saying, hey, tell them my realtor Jared James sent you. That's powerful. 69% of people are unrepresented, meaning 7 out of 10, if they were to buy or sell tomorrow, have no idea who they'd use as a realtor, okay? And here they are saying, hey, say my realtor Jared James sent me. Now I'm real value to them. Do you think when they go to buy or sell, if they're one of those 7 out of 10, that they'll now consider me to sell their house or help them buy? Absolutely, because I've given them value. What if you set up the same deal for a local hotspot for 20% off a happy hour or 20% off of whatever for all your bachelors, and you let all your bachelors know, and you said, hey, tell all your friends at work who ought to bring them over, tell them my realtor Jared James sent me, and now all those other bachelors who are eventually going to get engaged, sell their condos, buy houses, have kids, whatever, I have now gotten in with them. What if you set up a special deal at the movie theater for a certain day from this time to that time for all your senior citizens, get $5 tickets? All they have to do is say my realtor Jared. I mean, the amount of things you could do with this are absolutely endless, and it's free. It's 100% free, but it's going to keep you connected with your people, which is an absolute must. It's going to provide value to them, and you're going to take that 89% of people that say they're going to use you and only 11% do, and you're going to up that dramatically, and you're going to get referred to all of their friends and family and closest people and all these kinds of things by doing something as simple as this, okay? Here's another thing we can do to create business. And guys, I apologize, I'm not jumping from slide to slide to slide. That's because I'm kind of picking and choosing as I go here how I want to do this, okay? Which things I want to cover. The next one here is a little bit more technical, but the results are absolutely amazing, okay? There's a, for any of you that are on, all of you should be on Facebook, obviously. But if you're not using Facebook ads, I don't know what you're doing, because it's the most targeted way since when pay-per-click first came out that, that's possibly been around in years and years and years, okay? And we have, and again, everything I'm talking about today works amazingly. Our students are doing it. A ton of people. I mean, I can tell you story after story after story. Okay. So one of our students does something where he creates a Facebook ad. And if you don't know how to do that, don't shut off right now. Just go to YouTube or go to Facebook tutorials, see how to, it literally takes 2 minutes. It's so simple. And you can target ads toward very specific people. You can target ads towards people in a specific zip code who own or rent, depending on what they do. Who are in a certain age bracket, who are a certain income bracket, who are in a certain, you can get so ridiculously targeted, it's crazy. Who they work for, what their likes and interests are, whatever it happens to be. And what we do is we actually create ads on Facebook, and we call them equity calculators. And we create an ad and we target it to your specific zip code, wherever you happen to be, that you want listings in. And it's an ad that runs that basically says, click here to find out now your instant equity report, to find out how much your house is worth, okay? The cool thing about Facebook ads is that if nobody clicks, you don't pay a dime. And you set a daily budget for how much you want to spend. You could change it at any time. So you could say, I'm going to start out at $5 a day. If I don't get a good response after a week, I'm going to shut it down. All I wasted was $25 or $35, okay? And you start to see what kind of response you get. Now, the only people clicking on that ad are people who are interested in the value of their property, who are in your zip code or your specific neighborhood that you target, or your whatever it happens to be, okay? Now, why would someone click on there and want to know the value of their property? Why would they do that? Generally speaking, those people are more likely to want to sell than people who don't click on those ads. And so what you want to do is you want to have some kind of a landing page, some kind of a page that it brings them to, that in order for them to get their value once they click on that ad, you're going to connect it to it, usually a page on your site or something like that, where it's going to say for them to get their value, they've got to put in this information, okay? Name, email, address. Obviously, you need their address, whatever happens to be, and you're going to start collecting that info. If you don't have landing pages, like you're not able to make them on your site or anything, you can go and use something as simple as listings to leads. For $30 a month, they not only create automatic virtual tours for you and flyers for you, they also give you landing pages like we're talking about right now as part of your package for $30 a month. They also connect your listings to Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com and create leads for you, create landing pages automatically for you based on your leads, your listings automatically. But the thing for the purposes of what I'm talking about right now is that you can use their landing pages as part of their program for only $30 a month. So it's worth the money. If you want to try them for free, go to listings, listings, to leads, TOLEADS, listings2leads.com/Jared James. You can try them for free for a month, okay? But you got to have these kinds of tools, guys. It's part of being a business, is that you run like a business, you market like a business. So we create these ads, and we actually set up, some kind of an equity calculator or something like that. And with that equity calculator, we target it to a specific area. And again, only people who click on it are people from that area that want to know their value. They then fill it out, and then you get a notice saying so-and-so wants to know the value of their property. Again, you only pay for the people that click on it. The average cost is somewhere between 30 cents and 50 cents per click, depending on your ad. We had a student about 2 weeks ago that did exactly what I'm talking about right now, and he set his budget at, I think it was like $15 a day or something like that. And literally in one weekend, he got over 100 leads for sellers in his area. He paid 43 cents per click. He paid $43 for over 100 seller leads specific to his zip code. I mean, guys, that is, where else do you get a bang for buck like that? I mean, that's amazing. At the time, he was using, like I talked about, listings to leads with the landing page and doing that kind of a thing. But we've got other people. You know, I just got off a coaching broadcast with our students where there's a company called Prime Seller Leads. Prime Seller Leads will do it all for you. For $159 a month, and then you actually schedule with them how much you're willing to spend per day with no long-term contract. They'll set up everything for you. They'll set up the landing pages. They'll set up the ads. They'll set up everything. All they'll do is they want to know where you want to target. They'll set it all up. All you do is get leads. So we just brought on one of our students who's not a top producing guy. He's just trying this. He did what I told him to do. He started last Friday with Prime Seller Leads. He went to primesellerleads.com/Jared James. He gets a discount by doing that. He went to primesellerleads.com/Jared James last Friday. He set up an account with them. It's $160 a month, and he budgeted $3 a day. That's it, $3 a day, because he said to himself, at $3 a day times 30 days in a month, that's $90. He goes, I'm going to commit $259 a month over the next 2 months, because it's $159 for them to do it for you, and then however much you market, $5, $10 a day, $3 a day, whatever it happens to be. If it's not working after 2 months, I'll shut it down. So he started last Friday. I brought him on the broadcast today, and as of this morning, this is Monday, he started Friday, budgeting $3 a day. He had almost 20 seller leads by this morning, which is ridiculous, guys. Are you going to tell me that wasn't money well spent? He still got them coming in. Now the only question is, what does he need to do to follow up with those people and get responses and we talked a lot about that. We talked about using video. We talked about a lot of those kinds of things. Let's talk about other ways you can use these Facebook targeted ads that are amazing to really create business. Facebook within their ads has something called a power editor. Okay, a lot of people don't know this. If you're using Mozilla Firefox or Internet Explorer, you won't have access to the power editor. But if you open your Facebook within Google Chrome, which is another browser, it will actually use this thing called the power editor. The thing that's cool about the power editor is now when you create some kind of an ad or you create something that you want people to see, you can not just target it specifically to neighborhoods or cities or whatever you want. You can actually upload your CSV file, so your file of your clients or your file of specific clients, so that only they see it, okay? Because it looks for them on Facebook, finds them, and only shows the ad to those specific people. What if you pulled up the power editor and uploaded from your database your file of your past clients, current clients, and did nothing but advertise that you're giving away $5 gift cards to Starbucks just for clicking on it and accepting it? Just a way for me to say thank you to my past clients. You think those people would ever leave you? What if this is something I covered on our coaching broadcast today. I'm going to cover this in much more detail. I've got this annual advance event in Hartford, Connecticut in November where we're going to break down a lot of this stuff and really show people how to create business. But what if you took those leads that you had every week or every month from Prime Seller Leads or from Zillow or from Truly or from your personal website or from whatever it is, and you uploaded those leads into the power editor and marketed specifically just to them on Facebook? So if you had leads that came in through Prime Seller Leads and they weren't responding to you after a couple weeks, what if you uploaded the file from Prime Seller Leads into your power editor, created an ad on Facebook that said something like, looking to hear back from you. If you list your house in the next 30 days, I'll pay for your moving costs. Or something, you put out some kind of special offer, whatever it happens to be. Your price point, depending on what it is going to determine whether, what you can offer and what you can't. But now you followed up in that way, which is absolutely brilliant because they're on there. That's where the lead came from to begin with. So now after they've already gotten somewhat of a home value, but they're kind of thinking of selling, but they're not completely sure who they're going to go with yet. Now they see an ad that only they and the other people who have been sent to you as leads are seeing. And now they see that kind of a thing, and it's just one more reason for them to follow up with you and to get in contact with you and to sell with you. 66% of people work with the first person they meet in person. What if you did something like that? I mean, guys, it's amazing. If you had 25 of them, in a couple of weeks span, and you marketed just to them, and 14 of them actually, clicked on the ad and responded and said, okay, I'm going to work with you. If you're paying 50 cents per, you just spent $7 on that ad. Are you going to tell me that wasn't worth it for those 7 people or those 14 people to respond to you after they've already asked to know what their house is worth, and now they're going to have you come take a look at their house? It's not worth $7. That's called being creative, guys. These are things that I'm telling you because I speak to tens of thousands of real estate people every single year. I'm telling you 99.999% of the real estate community doesn't do anything about what I'm talking about right now. They do not implement these kinds of strategies because they didn't grow up with them. They don't understand them, but they don't understand just how powerful it can be. It's why the annual advance is going to be so powerful, because we're going to actually have people sitting down with computers open in front of them and just actually doing exactly what I say. Okay, implement this, do this, set this up, hit submit. There you go. It's good to go. It's going to be amazing. What if you implemented something either on Facebook or on AdRoll for there's something called AdRoll, guys. Just so you know, AdRoll is a thing where, and by the way, I got some questions. John, you asked, can I still register for the annual advance? John, absolutely. Just go to our website, jaredjamestoday.com. You'll see up at the top in the menu item, it says annual advance or something like that. But guys, I'm not going to get into this yet, but literally we're going to run out of space because I made a decision where we could either have a 1,000-person event or a 200-person event. The difference with 1,000 people is that we've got theater-style seating where you're all close together just listening like spectators. A 200-person event, you're going to be set up classroom-style with computers open doing exactly what we're talking about. I decided to go that route. So, John, if you haven't registered yet, just do that soon, okay? Good question. How many of you are implementing AdRoll? AdRoll is a company that when somebody visits your website or somebody clicks on your ad on Facebook or one of those ones, like I said, those sellers that we were talking about or something like that, it follows them everywhere they go on the internet and has ads from you that they create in those different. So let's say somebody goes on your website and they're thinking of selling, but they're browsing your whatever. They're thinking of buying and they browse your website and then they leave and they don't do anything and they go to Yahoo next. Well, now at the top right of Yahoo, there's an ad for you. I'm getting a question right now from John Bailey. So there's an ad for John Bailey at the top right-hand corner, specific to what they were looking to do. Do you know how much power is in that? It's kind of like when you go and you look at a pair of shoes online, or your wife does, or you do, and you leave that site and you were on the edge, but you didn't buy them, and then you leave, and then 2 days later you go to a site, you go to MSN.com, and there's an ad for those shoes, and you're going, oh my God, it must be God. Like, that's what I should have bought, and then you do it. That's how powerful something like AdRoll is, okay? Somebody asked me a question, what's your opinion on AdWorks.com advertisement? Ismail, you asked me that. AdWorks, I love their concept, James. What's your name? Ismail. I love their concept of AdWorks. The idea is that they retarget and such real estate people who go to Truly on Zillow and these kinds of places and everything. But as of right now, the results I've seen from actual realtors have been subpar, so I can't actually recommend them yet. But I love their concept, and I'm keeping an eye on them. For right now, I would more so use something like AdRoll, or I'd use the custom audience pixel from Facebook to follow people like that. So good question. What's the name of the site again? Trisha, I'm not sure which site you're talking about. If you're talking about my site, that's jaredjamestoday.com. Just like you can see on the slides here, everything's Jared James Today. You go to jaredjamestoday.com. The other sites I've mentioned so far were listingstoleads.com. So listingstoleads.com/Jared James. And then I also mentioned Prime, Prime, seller, Seller, leads, Leads, primesellerleads.com/Jared James. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. If I didn't name the one you had mentioned, go ahead and ask me again. Someone asked, was that adverbial? No, it's AdRoll. Okay, I'm gonna put in for everybody to see. It's called AdRoll. I'm gonna send to all. AdRoll. Amazing tool that not enough people are using right now. AdRoll. Okay, okay. What's the ad website? Again, AdRoll. You know what I'm going to do, guys, while I'm doing this? I'm going to type all the different websites that I just mentioned to you. Slow down. My mind can't keep up. Guys, I'm going to pause 1 second here. I'm going to type into the question, the answer portion. I'm going to type all the websites that I just mentioned for you guys to see, okay? So there's mine. Let's see if I can send that one. And then I'm going to send. So, guys, just bear with me. Like I said, I don't mind this being a little bit informal. I'd much rather that you guys get value. This isn't a live event where I've got to entertain and everything else. To me, this is something where we can really make sure you guys get value, and I can slow it down, as Carolyn said. It's tough, though, Carolyn, because we're always under time constraints and people have to go places. What was the other one? primesellerleads.com/Jared James. Guys, amazing value, and there's no long-term contract. You can try them. What else did I mention? AdRoll, www.adroll.com. I've got no deal with them and give you a special deal. I probably should have, but sorry. John, man, I'm looking forward to having you register for that advance, man. I'm getting a lot of people. I cannot keep up. This is too much info. Do other people get the same leads on Prime Seller Leads? Jacqueline, great question. Do other people get the same leads on Prime Seller Leads? It depends. There is a such thing where you can actually buy an exclusive in an area. But there's so many leads to be created that most of them are different. I mean, put it this way. For the guy that I just had on our coaching broadcast today that budgeted $3 a day and he's getting 4 to 5 leads a day, if he were to up that to $20 a day, he'd get 20 leads a day. Okay, so there's plenty of leads out there. What they do is the more money that's spent, they expand the amount of people that are going to see it. So there's plenty of leads to go around. I guess in some cases there might be overlap, but in general, there's a lot of different leads to go around that nobody else has gotten. So I'd be more, just so you know, Jacqueline, I'd be much more worried or concerned with my follow-up and conversion ratio than I would with other people getting them. That's where people falter. That's where, someone asked and they said, what's the best way to get a lead to respond to you? That is an easy answer in my book, okay? There's the obvious answers, which is, to have the automatic drip responses to remind them that you're there and everything else. Guys, the number one way that you're going to get leads to respond to you when you get leads through Zillow, Trulia, your website, Prime Seller Leads, any of that, is to use video. It's the one that you avoid the most, and it's the one that'll be the most effective. And I'm not talking about a professional video where you're standing in front of a studio or something like that. I'm talking about where I wish you could see me right now. I'm talking about where you grab your phone, you're on your way to an appointment, you pick up your phone and you hit record, and you say, hey, John, I just got your message in that you were looking for a value on your property over at 123 Main Street. I'm on my way to another appointment. I'm going to get that for you right away. In the meantime, if you have any questions, here's my cell phone, here's my email. Be looking out for another message I'll have coming to you. I'll talk to you soon. Quick, easy. And what I just did now, I go to send an email, I attach that video, or I use BombBomb, which embeds videos right into your email. Again, you can try them for free, bombbomb.com/Jared James. And what I've just done is I've humanized myself. Because so many people, what happens is they get they look at you like an internet troll. They look at you like just an information giver, but they haven't separated you and haven't really humanized you yet. But when they see you and they hear your voice reflection and they start to relate with you as a person, and you take those little extra 10 seconds to shoot that and send it to them, you've completely separated yourself. So freaking simple. Yet the majority of you listening right now will not do it. And I'm telling you, you're missing out. At the advance, I'm going to be showing people exactly how to do this and how it's going to separate you and how it's going to take your closing ratio and push it way through the roof compared to so many other people who are simply answering questions for consumers and hoping that they're going to respond, okay? Hope marketing, hope strategies don't work. I'm telling you that. Get rid of the hope. Go with the tangible. What other questions here? Guys, I'm going as slow as I possibly can. Good question. Dale said, what is the Wise Agent? I'm going to type it in here right now and send it to everybody. wiseagent.com/Jared James. That's the database that I recommend. There are many different, databases out there. If you have one that you like, keep using them. I recommend Wise Agent because it's got a lot of different functions it does. It does everything I need it to do, but it's also very user-friendly and it's cheap. And it also interacts with most of the other companies that I recommend so that you don't have to do double work for everything. You don't have to take Prime Seller Leads and add those leads to Wise Agent and take, whatever. They all going to work together. They integrate, okay? So if you go to wiseagent.com/Jared James, try them for free for a month. They'll help you upload your information, help you upload your contacts, really cool stuff. Okay, so someone asked, what is a good CMA standalone site that could be connected to the cloud? I think we spend way too much time on that, Vicky. There's obviously Cloud CMA, which is a good one. But here's the thing with the CMAs, guys. CMAs have become so much about data that's not separating you from the competition. This is why Listings to Leads to me is so powerful, because Listings to Leads is a company that whenever you take a listing or if you add one in automatic, if you manually put one in, it's going to automatically create a single property website for that property, a YouTube video for that property, a virtual tour for that property, the flyers for that. It's going to automatically do all of those things. It's also going to create when the virtual tour gets put on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, these kind of places, and people go and click on that virtual tour, it's going to bring them to a landing page separate from those third-party sites that are completely branded for you with calls to action everywhere, trying to get their email, their information to create leads for you. If I were you, I would care less about all the data in my CMA and more about bringing them tools like listings to leads and other ones and showing them exactly how and showing them actively how you market that property, what you do to get it out there, what kind of leads you generate, what kind of. So, for example, I would take listings to leads. I would in front of them manually update pictures from their property right in front of them at the CMA. I would put the pictures in, put the address in, hit submit, and show them how it just created this virtual tour, just created this YouTube video, just created these flyers, and I would show them, look, here's what we're doing, and then I would show them how it's going to connect automatically to the listings on those third-party sites and drive the traffic from those places back to me specifically, so I'm dealing with those leads because nobody has more of an interest in selling this than I do. I would show them how a single property website can be valuable to them and how it was automatic. I mean, I would show them rather than tell them all the data. Here's your house worth, here, whatever. I would show them what it is. Okay. Now you're gonna get me in trouble. Stafford, you asked. Keller Williams has Market Leader. How do they stack up? God, I've got friends at Market Leader. They're good people. I don't think they stack up at all. I hate saying that because they're such good people. Such good friends too. So excuse me that I even said that. Someone said spell the bonbon. It's bomb. I'll type it in here. Bomb, like as if, stop, he's got a bomb. Bombbomb.com/Jared James. It's another email marketing similar to if you have Constant Contact or iContact. Does everything those companies do. The only difference is it embeds video where when somebody clicks on it, they watch it straight from your email with your branding everywhere rather than bringing them to a third-party site. Okay? So that's your answer to that. Great question. Someone asked, Ronaldo, how important is your voice inflection on your outgoing calls? Absolutely important. Guys, do not be robots when you're taking video of yourself. Be yourself. Your unique DNA is what separates you. Have fun. Just be, again, it's your imperfections that make you likable, that make you so unique, okay? So like I said, you're walking to an appointment, just hold it up, your hair's messed up. Hey, John, just got your thing, want to get back to you, whatever. It humanizes you. Don't worry about the professional background and all that kind of stuff. Okay, good question. Someone said, I tried to send the phone video, but could not for some reason, said the file was too big. Okay, if you're sending it from your personal phone, you do need to think about for emails what their levels of how big attachments can be. That's why I said keep it short, 10 to 15 seconds. If you go too long, for some email services, it's not going to allow you, okay? Guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to my content here. I've just got so many questions coming in. Can you recommend a good company for my real estate website? Janelle, there's a lot of them. I mean, one of the cheaper ones is Playster. It really depends on what your Playster, Placester. Depends on how much you're looking to spend. If you're looking for like a kick butt one and you're ready to spend some money and get a ton of leads, there's things like Real Estate Webmasters. There's a ton of them. Seriously, message me offline and I'll help you out with that. Let me get back to content, guys. How important is it to include your company's name with yours on your voicemail? I mean, it's not super, but it is. Hey, this is so and so from Remax, or so and so from Howard Hanna, or so and so. It's important that you somehow just let them know who you are and why you're responding. But then your real focus is on what they wanted and how you can help them. Okay, let's talk about some other ways to grow, guys. One of the other top ways to grow, and I'm going to skip some other stuff I was going to do, is what I call the master the actions to reactions principle. And by the way, Jacqueline, you said I can't see the PowerPoint on the screen. Specific ways to grow. That is the PowerPoint. That's what we're doing right now. I'm not skipping around because I'm kind of leaving myself open to be able to do things. Is this being recorded? I'm going to try to. It says it's being recorded, but GoToWebinar can act up sometimes. So the master the actions to reactions principle is this, guys. There are so many things that happen every day that within your day that you don't even realize if you're prospecting the right way that can create business for you, okay? And it's all about being specific and targeted. I had one of my neighbors having a new roof put up recently, and I had the roofer come over and knock on my door and say, hey, I don't want to bother you, but just so you know, we're in the neighborhood doing a roof. If you do decide you want to have a roof done while we're here, it's going to be cheaper since we're here already. And I sat there going, that's brilliant. That's exactly what you should be doing. Because we know that when a house gets listed in an area, statistics tell us within 30 days, another house is listed. We know that within 6 months, 2 to 3 more houses are listed. So the question is, who's going to list those, okay? And so here's a couple of different templates, a couple of different campaigns that you can use to create more listings if you want them, to create more buyers if you want them. I'm just going to share a couple of them, guys. One of them is called the Do You Still Want to Sell? Do You Still Want to Sell is so simple. The Do You Still Want to Sell campaign is one where what you do is you go and look and write this down. Over your last 2 years, go look up every property in your area that was expired or canceled, okay, taken off the market and not relisted, okay? Look those up over the last 2 years. Every property that expired, canceled, was not relisted. I then want you to cross-reference those properties with your town halls. Some of you can do that online. Some of you are actually going to have to bring these properties to town hall. And I want you to cross-reference those properties over the last 2 years that expired or canceled and did not relist, but also did not go short sale or foreclosure. Okay? So in other words, they just expired, canceled, went off the market, didn't go short sale, didn't go foreclosure. Once you have those properties, you're now going to send out the Do You Still Want to Sell campaign. And the Do You Still Want to Sell campaign is pretty simple, okay? What the Do You Still Want to Sell campaign says is it's going out to those people who in the last 2 years, let's face it, they expired, they canceled, whatever, but they didn't relist, they didn't go short sale, didn't go foreclosure. Chances are they were probably over leveraged, which means they couldn't sell. But what's happened the last 2 years in the majority of markets? Number one, the prices have gone what? Up. In the meantime, if they haven't short sale or foreclosure, they keep paying their mortgage payments, which means their amount of equity has also gone up. They've paid down their balance. So on one hand, you have property prices increasing. You have their amount of their balance decreasing, which means in many cases, these people can now sell. And so we have this thing called the Do You Still Want to Sell? And it says, I don't believe we ever met in person, but I noticed you tried to sell your house unsuccessfully in the last couple of years. I'm a local realtor, yada, yada, yada. Truth is, you're not alone. And it goes through these kinds of things. And he said, I don't want to waste any of your time, but I do want to let you know that as housing prices have continued to increase, if you're still interested in selling, then you just may still be able to. And then you say the key line, which is the key to any template, which is the value of your property has actually changed. Now, when you say the value of your property has changed, what did they hear? They hear it went up. Did you say up? No, you said changed. We had one of our students send this out to 30 houses. That's it, 30 houses who he brought through that targeting criteria I told you about. Within 1 week, he listed 5 properties who found out they could still sell. They didn't realize they still could. They still wanted to move. They just didn't think they could sell. But now their equity situation changed. He listed 5 of those properties in 1 week, and the next week had 5 more listing appointments. I don't know what happened on those, but he had 5 more. It's an amazing technique. Another one we use is called the New Listing Prospecting Letter. What if you want new listings, but you don't have new listings to draw other new listings? The New Listing Prospecting Letter is a letter where you pick a neighborhood where somebody else listed a property in a neighborhood where you want listings, and you basically send out this letter called the New Listing Prospecting Letter, because those statistics still hold true. Just because you didn't list that property means that another one is still going to be listed within 30 days, and then within 6 months, 2 to 3 more. Well, does that listing agent own those properties, those neighbors? No. Anybody can market to them as long as you're not marketing to the actual house that is being sold. So we send out this New Listing Prospecting Letter that says, look, I'm not sure if we've met in person before, but I wanted to make you aware that your neighbor's house over at, be very specific, just went up for sale for the listed price. More importantly, though, this has changed the value of your home. The last thing you ever want to do, and then it goes into some other stuff, but the point is this. It's when you say change their value, you're not looking for the 49 no's, the 49 people not looking to move. You're looking for that one that's going to list in the next 30 days. And if they're looking to list in the next 30 days and they know their neighbor's house just went up and now they're going, shoot, that changed my value, they want to know how it's changed. When you reach out to them and you do this, don't you think there's a better chance that they're going to reach back out to you? Don't worry about the 49 no's. You're looking for that one yes. And that really is the thing that we do with all of our templates and all the stuff we do is basically understanding that concept that the more of this that you do, if it's targeted, the more listings you're going to pick up, the more buyers you're going to pick up. I mean, how many of you are using the pizza order form? You know, you go to a closing, usually people bring some kind of this is, again, so simple it's stupid, but it works. How many of you are using something where you're bringing them a closing gift or something like that. When the truth is, what we do with all our students is a week before the closing, we have them send out the pizza order form. And the pizza order form goes out to them and says, how many pizzas would you like? When's the day of your move? Not the day of your close, the day of your move. How many pizzas would you like? What kind of drinks would you want? How many people are expected to be there? Who's expected to be there? And once you take that order, on the day of the move, who do you think delivers that pizza? You do. Why? Because your whole thing from the closing on is trying to get them to refer their closest friends and family. Guys, who are the people helping them move the day of the move? Their closest friends and family. They don't even want to be there. They hate doing it. And then you show up, their realtor, with pizza saying, hey, take a break. And now you're eating with their closest friends and family. You're talking to them. And now there's a greater level of context. Instead of them just referring and saying, hey, use my realtor, now they've gotten to know you. They like you. You brought them pizza. There's a whole different level of context. Such a simple thing, but such an easy way to be creating business, okay? Guys, I hate to say this, but I got to move on with some stuff here because we are going to be running out of time very shortly here. I see some more questions that have come in from you guys. Do you still offer the 30-day free trial of your virtual coaching? No, we did that for a little bit. I do not believe that we have that anymore. I'll check with my office, but I don't think we do. I am going to make a special offer today, though, so good question. Audrey, can you repeat the script? I'm not sure which script you talked about. Let me know which one you're talking about. Just so you go, guys, all of these templates, plus many, many more, guys, I can't cover everything right now, are all available within our program, okay? Do you offer these letters as part of your coaching, or are these created by the realtor? No, these are all available within our program and more, okay? Does it not a template? Help them every step of the way. Also coach those. Perfect. Let's see. Can you answer the VA question? Resend the VA question, Stafford. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Can you repeat the expired and withdrawn script? That was just let me see if I can find it here. That was just you're talking about the one, do you still want to sell? I didn't read the whole thing, but the basic idea of it was, look, I don't believe we met in person, but I noticed that you tried to sell your house unsuccessfully within the last couple of years. I'm a local realtor that specializes in these kinds of situations and wanted to know if you were still interested in selling or if you might have taken your house off the market for another reason. Truth is, you're not alone. There are many people that have wanted to sell, but due to the economy being what it was and prices declining, they weren't able to do. But I have some good news for you. Things have gotten better, and they've gotten better quickly. Do you know that a recent report showed that there were not enough quality houses for the number of buyers that wanted to purchase? And then it goes in and basically says how their value has changed, that they want to know how it's changed. Let us know, and then you give them their contact info. Do you have a sample of letters? Those are all in the coaching program, Pamela. Someone else wrote, thanks. Let me see here, guys. Do you give some of these letters? Yes, Vicky, you asked, do you give some of these letters at your conference? Yeah, everybody coming to our conference is going to get the letters, but like I said, everybody in our program has them as well. Let me tell you guys a little bit about that because I let's face it, I want to tell you if you guys have more interest in this. I wasn't able to cover even half as much of the stuff I was going to cover for business creation, but the bottom line is I don't want to overload you with info either. You pick anything and stick to it, you're going to be successful, but you've got to know the right things to stick to, and that's the kind of stuff that I teach. So we have a virtual coaching program where, guys, I used to have a big one-on-one coaching program. We had 50 coaches all over North America, and the truth is I hated it. It was profitable. We got $1,000 a month for every person. One of the things that really bothered me was that people who needed help couldn't afford it. And I had a conversation with Brian Buffini, one of the biggest real estate coaches in our industry, backstage one day, and he says to me, he goes, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't follow my model. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, and he wasn't talking about his model as far as pop buys and that kind of stuff. He's an awesome guy. He said, we didn't have the technology you guys have today. He goes, I've got over $50 million in overhead every year. He went through all this different stuff. He goes, we didn't have the technology. And a little light bulb went off in my head, and I said, how can I get the training to people that they need, the accountability that they need, while making it affordable? And so we did this thing called virtual coaching. We've now got thousands of people in it. Everybody in there has members-only access to our dashboard. Our dashboard is a place where all our templates, all our scripts, all our campaigns, specific videos from me to you are there. Everybody has email access directly to me. Every week, guys, right before I got on here, I was on our live coaching broadcast. Every week, I live broadcast from right in front of my computer. And whether I'm on the road in a hotel room, whether I'm in my gym clothes, whether I'm in my office, and every week I go for about 15 to 20 minutes talking about what you need to do, how we're going to do it, keeping you motivated, talking about the strategies we're going to follow, and then I do nothing but answer your questions. We also have a Facebook group just for our coaching members, where there's a ton of masterminding that goes on. Guys, it's invaluable. It's absolutely invaluable, the amount of stuff that's offered in this program. The cool thing is we offer it for $39 a month or $399 a year, which let's face it, guys, that is absurd. I mean, that is absolutely absurd, okay? What I'm offering to you today is it, and there's no long-term contract on this. If you want to try it out, you could try it out for $29 a month forever, as long as you're in it, $29 a month or $299 a year, which is, guys, you're spending more than that on coffee. All you have to do is you have to go to our website, jaredjamestoday.com. I'm going to get to all your questions in a second here, guys. I'll stay on as long as I have to answer them. You just go to jaredjamestoday.com. When you sign up, you're just going to go there. There's a thing that says coaching and training. Just go to sign up. Pick the monthly or the yearly option. The yearly, obviously, you save from the monthly. And when you're signing up, you're in the shopping cart, put in the promo code EVENTS with a capital E. Capital E, lowercase VENTS, events, and you'll get it for $29 a month or $299 a year. Guys, that is absurd, okay? If you're on this broadcast, I highly recommend too, I wasn't going to mention this, but you need to be at the annual advance, guys. I have rented out the Connecticut Convention Center in Hartford, Connecticut, November 19th and 20th, where we're going to have fun. We've got different parties scheduled, bands coming. My birthday is on November 19th. But guys, we're going to spend 2 days absolutely immersing you in the blueprint that you need to follow. Okay, this is something where the value you're going to get back, the tickets for that are $249. The value, or if you buy them in bulk, they're less. But the value you're going to get back from having the blueprint to follow to know exactly what you need to do to get the kind of results that you want to get it's unreal, guys. I mean, I'm literally coming up with the content right now. And as I said, this is going to be the implementation conference. Everybody's going to be in classroom style, your computer open, Wi-Fi there. And when I talk about doing something, we're going to have you doing it step by step. We're going to say, DJ, hit the music, and you're just going to implement. I mean, we're bringing in some of our top students from around the country. One of our students, when he started with the program, was doing about $9 million a year. This year, he's going to do over $50 million in just over 18 months now. Because, like I said earlier, you can't put the ingredients in the oven for a pizza and expect a lasagna to come out. I'm going to teach you those exact strategies, and we're going to get to hang out a little bit, okay? So if you have questions about that, let me know. Like I said, go to jaredjamestoday.com, $29 a month or $299 for the year if you put in the promo code EVENTS. You know, if you guys want to get, my new book is coming out next month. Pre-orders also opened up on my website. You order them now. They're going to be in the next 3 weeks or so, and we'll send it out to you. It's called Get Out of Your Way. It's the idea that there's over 7 billion people on Earth, and only one of them has the ability to keep you from getting what you want. So that's another thing available to you. Okay, guys? Let me get to some of your questions now. Again, use the promo code EVENTS. I hope if you do register for the annual advance in Hartford, Connecticut, if you're in the area, like if you're in like the Northeast, there's absolutely no excuse why you shouldn't be there. You need to get there before we sell out. If you're from somewhere around the country, guys, when you look at the price of the ticket, the hotels and everything else, it's like a fifth of a transaction. Okay, there's no way you can come to this and not do more transactions. That's the way you have to think about it. You've got to invest in yourself in order to see the kind of return you want within your business, which I'm telling you, when you change your income, you change so many other outcomes in your life, okay? Can a VA pre-qualify for an agent? Start with the video, then VA follow up and qualify them. I assume you're talking about a virtual assistant? Absolutely. I'm a big fan of virtual assistants doing things, and we're going to teach a little bit about that at the annual advance too, how and who you should use and how you should use them. So absolutely. Let me see what else here. Can you recap the 7 ways? Gil, to be honest, I don't even know if I covered 7. I don't know. I just started ad-libbing. But I will try to, if you're in our database here, hopefully this is recorded and we can make this work for you, because I have no idea what I just covered. I'm sorry. And there were so many I didn't cover. Any hard numbers on what response rates people are getting for expired letters? If I know my cost and approximate response rate, I can calculate my conversion rate. It needs to have it make sense. Scott, great question. Yeah, so when you look at what do you call it, expireds and all those kinds of people, you're usually looking at a less than 5% rate. What I would do if I were you, Scott, if you want to get a higher return, you go and you sign up for that company, Listings to Leads, I told you about, listingstoleads.com/Jared James, because as part of that site, the other thing you can do, all for $30 a month and the first month free, part of what they do on top of creating leads for you and automating everything is they give you access to create single property websites. One of the ways to take your expireds and cancels and make them more like 20% ratios rather than the usual less than 5% is to actually, for each expired and cancel you're going after, create a single property website for that specific property. put your marketing plan on that single property website, mail or hand deliver that package to them that tells them go to 123mainstreet.com, which is their house website. And so that they can see your marketing plan, you will stand out way above anybody else calling them all the time saying, telling them about why they should use a realtor and everything else, just because they're going, if somebody sent me a marketing campaign that was at my house's website or whatever, I'd have to check it out. Automatically, you'll stand out. You get a much higher rate of return. Okay. I love one-stop shopping tools for the biz. Do you recommend Tour Factory? Do you recommend Loop? Or do you have a package deal you recommend with all-one tools? Love Tour Factory. Actually, I keynoted their event 2 years ago. I hate to say it, though. I just, you look at something like Listings to Leads, and they do everything Tour Factory does and more for $30 a month. So and do it automatically. I definitely recommend Loop. I love Loop. You guys can get a free account with them, dotloop.com/Jared James. Love Loop. So great question. And I don't think enough people use them. Like usual, great content, Jared. Thank you so much, Ben. Can we start at $29 for 1 month, then take the year at $299? Carol, absolutely. If at any time, when you sign up, you're going to get, whether you're signing up for the advance or the coaching, if you sign up for coaching, you're going to get a welcome email with all your instructions, your passwords, how you get into stuff, by the way, guys, those weekly broadcasts that I do live, if you're not able to be on them live on Monday at noon Eastern, they're automatically recorded and available on your dashboard all week. You can watch them on demand. We've had many people start out monthly and then all of a sudden go, you know what, this is ridiculous value. I'm just going to pay for the year. And there's a lady named Marie who you'll have her contact info, and she will take care of everything for you. She'll be in constant contact with you. Any billing issues, questions about the program, she'll walk you through the program to show it to you. So great question. Yes, John, you wrote, can I get the book on my Kindle? Yes, go to our website, there's a part that says the book is now available or something like that in the menu items. Just order the e-copy. And when it comes out next month or within a couple weeks, I think now, you're going to get a code and everything else you can download onto your Kindle. Absolutely. Amelia, hotel still available for your event in Connecticut? Yes, Amelia, we just got more. We actually set up a deal with the Marriott, which is connected to the convention center, and we booked out of the rooms we had booked with them. So we just got them to add 100 more rooms, and those are booking up now too. So Amelia, if you sign up, make sure you book your rooms, because you're going to get an email right after with where you book the room and how you can get it at our special rate. We're getting it at half the cost. Just make sure you book those right away, okay? What if another superstorm comes through? John, please, not from your lips to God's ears. That would be a disaster. Okay, was just on Jared James' site. Okay, which one is the one for $299? Okay, so Lisa, if you are on the site and you're trying to sign up for the coaching for $299, then up at the top in the menu item where it says coaching and training and it says sign up for coaching, it's going to bring you to an option that says monthly or yearly. Click on the one that's yearly for $399, and then when you're in the shopping cart, go over to the promo code area and put in the code EVENTS with a capital E, EVENTS. If you have any options, email us or message us, and we'll take care of you, okay? Please make sure you make this available to listen to. Roger, I'm going to try. It depends if it worked. It's the first time I'm trying the record button on. I don't do a lot of webinars, guys, in case you haven't noticed. I don't do a lot of free webinars. I think this is the first one this year. So I don't know if they're up to date and their record button's working, but I guess we'll find out. Jared, what are your thoughts, opinions on purchasing Zillow zip codes? Alan, to me, that's another line. That's another line to throw in the water. I brought someone on our coaching broadcast a couple months ago who is spending about $500 a month on Zillow. She did 29 transactions in the last year. So she spent $6,000 last year on Zillow. She made over $100,000. Okay, if you join the program, let me know and I'll shoot you that video so you can watch it and see exactly what she's doing and how it works. Okay. Our Power database, discounts for businesses, Facebook ad rolls, ads, listing to leads, ad roll, bomb, prime seller lead, just to name a few ways to generate business. Karen, thank you so much, and there were so many more. Is there public transport from Hartford to NYC? Maybe I can talk to the wife into a trip and then some Christmas shopping in the big city. Scott, absolutely. I know there's all sorts of ways to get there through trains and everything else. Scott, if you're in New York, man, you need to get here. That's not far at all. Like, I live about 45 minutes from New York, and I'm 45 minutes to Hartford. I live in Connecticut. Scott, find a way, man. I'm just telling you, like, you're looking for, ways to do it, public transportation, all this kind of stuff, man. I'm just telling you, I've told everybody if they come and they don't think it was worth it, I'm going to refund their money. Like, it's going to be well worth it. Guys, here's my belief in this world, okay? I don't believe that there is a lack of any kind of resources. I don't believe the world recognizes, if you were to take $5 million from this banker they wouldn't even recognize. The only thing that we lack in this world, guys, is our ability to either manipulate or to, what's the real word I want to use here? Manipulate sounds like a bad word, but it's not. It can be a good thing too. But our ability to really work things into the way that we want them. It's really that simple, guys. I mean, I was named #1 in the country. I have a best-selling book and another book coming out now that we've already sold thousands of copies. Guys, I don't change into a cape in a phone booth, okay? I have learned how to work people, how to get what it is that I want, how to not just stand back and accept what it is that everybody else accepts, okay? So, Scott, my thing to you is, man, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be front, and the truth is I'm not going to get rich on you buying your ticket. Like, buy your ticket and find a way to get there. I'm telling you it's going to be more than worth it, okay? Not just because of the business stuff you're going to learn, how we're going to set up your business and everything else, but we're going to have fun too. Like I said, we're hiring a band. You're going to get to spend some one-on-one time with me, which, I feel like such a prick even saying that, but the truth is my time has become where I don't get to hang out with a lot of people anymore. I don't get to do that. And so this is a chance that we get to do that on my birthday, no less, which is kind of cool. So I see a lot of you. Wow, a lot more of you are signing up for the advance than I expected from a webinar. So that's really cool, guys. So cool. So cool to see so many of you coming. Get there before, like I said, it sells out and you're not able to get in. I look forward to having so many of you guys in the coaching program too. Someone said, can you use listings to leads with FSBOs? Absolutely. The thing is with listings to leads is that it automatically pulls whenever you get a listing from List Hub, and it automatically creates those things for you and creates those leads for you. But if you have FSBOs or something like that you want to, all you do is manually put in your the information on the property, and again, it will automatically create all those things and send it to the places it needs to send to once you add them in manually. Okay. Someone wrote, "Thanks, Jared. Can I get your input on real estate agent directory for Facebook?" To be honest, Ismail, I don't have that much input on it. I've seen it. I haven't heard of any great value from it. I'm not an expert on it. I haven't seen any great value from it, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't spend that much time thinking about that. Let's see. Best website for aerial view of property when marketing, Google Earth. You recommend drones? It depends on where you are. Drones are powerful if you're in a certain neighborhood or a certain clientele that need that. But for the general listing, I don't think I think they're just another shiny object syndrome, if I'm being 100% honest. Google Earth's a good one, no doubt. But guys, here's the deal. When you hear someone like me or whatever, don't get so blown away by all the things I've talked about, prime seller leads and listings to leads and all these things, that you get caught up in that shiny object syndrome mentality that so many of us do. Pick something and implement it. You know what I'm saying? Just get to work. Sometimes some of us spend so much time figuring out, trying, setting up, and whatever that we do everything but sell a freaking house, okay? And that's the point of the annual advance, is to get you to implement, okay? So pretty cool. Annual advance registration gives us access to monthly access. No, the annual advance is an event that I'm doing at the Connecticut Convention Center. The monthly thing is the coaching that we do. But I mean, Carol, it's so freaking cheap. It's $29 a month or $299 for the year, but the value is unreal. One guy sent me a message a couple weeks ago and he said, "I feel like I'm ripping you off." And that's great by me. You know why? I'm able to scale my time. We're able to have thousands of people in the program, and I'm still able to go to the beach yesterday with my kids and go on vacations and pick and choose when I travel and all that kind of stuff. The annual advance is going to take some of that stuff that we teach in those monthly broadcasts and just bring it to a new level that you can only do live, that I can't even do on a webinar like this. You can only do live, okay? Okay, you did one a couple of weeks ago that was excellent. Also tell people to go to your resources on your website. Good point, guys. A lot of those companies I recommend are on our resources page on our website, the links for them. Great point, Lisa. Great point. FYI, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, so just trying to find an extra perk to help to talk my wife into it. Scott. God, I'm in Louisville all the time, too. Scott, message me. Let's see if we can come up. Maybe I'll give you a free signed book. I don't know if that's going to push your wife over the edge, though. But, guys, it's going to be an awesome place. It's vibrant in the middle of Hartford. It's right near Boston and New York as well. It's a great little getaway for a few days, that'll not only change your business, so it's a write-off, but also a great time if you guys want to come together. But I'm just telling you, man, like the difference in your business. Like, it's great to say, hey, come have a great time. But Scott, if you came and as a result you did 40 extra transactions, what would your wife think about that? What would you think about that? Do you know how much money I've spent on the Connecticut Convention Center? Like, that's a loser for me. But do you know why I do that? Because I know that if people implement these things, Patterns don't lie, guys. Like I said before, ingredients in the oven for a pizza, you get a pizza, not a lasagna. I'm going to show you exactly what those are, okay? But Scott, get there, man. I'd love to see you there. Great information today, Zelda. Thanks so much. Phenomenal information, Jared. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm going to answer a lot of these questions offline because we're running over time now, and I've got to jump on something else too. Guys, if we're not connected on Facebook, it's great if you like my fan page, but I do most of my stuff on my personal profile. You can follow me there, facebook.com/Jared James Today. If you like if you're on Twitter, twitter.com/Jared James Today. Instagram, you like to do pictures, instagram.com/Jared James Today. And guys, if you want to hear when I do training videos and I do whatever and you want to be made known when they're coming out, go to youtube.com/Jared1119. Subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of free content, guys. And I do that because I try to provide as much value as I possibly can. And the result of that has been a big following, a lot of people coming to the advance, a lot of people in our coaching programs. But I always try to give more than anything you're paying for or anything else, okay? Laura, you said on your site the cost shows us $39 per month. How do we get it at $29? Yeah, you got to click on the one for either $39 or $3.99 for the year. It's going to bring you to the shopping cart. Once you get to the shopping cart, put in the promo code EVENTS with a capital E. EVENTS, events. It'll then, when you hit submit after you hit the promo code and you make it go through, it'll lower the price. Any issues, message us. Message me on Facebook or email our company and we'll take care of you, okay? I see a lot of you writing in here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, big thanks to you. I look forward to having a lot of you in the program. Like I said, if you sign up to come to the advance, I'm going to do something special for you guys. Tag me on Facebook or Twitter or send me an email or something, and I'm going to do something special for the people that sign up today, okay? I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'm going to figure out what it is, okay, guys? So I hope you have a great one. I will talk to you guys soon, okay? It's been a blast.